Welcome to Immanuel's Easter story. Now we are reading about the Passover meal. The day came to celebrate the Passover feast. Jesus sent out 2 of his disciples. He told them, "Go into the city. A man carrying a jar of water will meet you there. Follow him. He will show you a large upstairs room prepared for us to eat there." The disciples went into the city. They found things just as Jesus had told them. So they prepared the Passover meal. When evening came, Jesus arrived with the 12. While they were eating, Jesus took bread. He gave thanks and broke it. He handed it to his disciples and said, "Take it. This is my body." Then he took the cup. He gave thanks and handed it to them. All of them drank from it. "This is my blood poured out to forgive the sins of many," he said. Then they sang a hymn and went out to the Mount of Olives. Every time we participate in Holy Communion, the bread we eat and the wine we drink symbolize our love for Jesus, the one who was willing to die on the cross for our sins.
The story of the Passover meal can be found in Matthew 26 and Mark 14.
Friends, let's follow Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Let's praise in Gethsemane. Jesus and his disciples went to Gethsemane. Jesus said, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him. He got down on his knees and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. But do what you want, not what I want." An angel from heaven appeared to Jesus and gave him strength. He got up from prayer and went back to the disciples. He found them sleeping. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked. "Get up, pray, that you won't fall into sin when you are tempted." Once more, Jesus went away and prayed the same thing. Then he came back. Again he found them sleeping, so he left for the 3rd time. He returned to the disciples and said, "Are you still sleeping? Look, the hour is near. The Son of Man is about to be handed over to sinners. Get up, let us go." So they came in the garden to arrest Jesus.
The story of Jesus praying in Gethsemane can be found in Matthew 26, Mark 14, and Luke 22.
Let's find out how Jesus was arrested. Jesus is arrested. Jesus has finished praying. He and his disciples went into a grove of olive trees. Jesus knew the place. Jesus had often been in that place, so Judas came guiding a group of soldiers. They were carrying torches and weapons. Jesus asked them, "Who is that you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth." They replied, "I am he," Jesus said. With a kiss, Peter had a sword and pulled it out. He cut off a servant's right ear. Jesus commanded, "Peter, put that sword away." And he touched the man's ear and healed him. Then the soldiers arrested Jesus. They tied him up. All the disciples left and ran away. Let's follow up and see what happened to Jesus. Jesus goes to Pilate. Early in the morning, the priests, the elders, and the whole Sanhedrin made a decision. They tied up Jesus. Then they handed him over to Pilate. "Are you the king of the Jews?" asked Pilate. "Yes, it is just as you say," Jesus replied. It was the practice at the Passover feast to let one prisoner go free. The people could choose the one they wanted. Pilate asked, "Which one do you want to set free, Barabbas or Jesus?" "Barabbas," they answered. "What should I do with Jesus?" Pilate asked. They all answered, "Crucify him." "Why? What has he done wrong?" asked Pilate. But they shouted even louder, "Crucify him!" Pilate saw he wasn't getting anywhere, so he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am not guilty of this man's death," he said. Pilate let Barabbas go free, but he had Jesus whipped. Then he handed him over to be nailed to a cross. Jesus Goes to Pilate can be found in Matthew 27 and Mark 15.
So, Immanuel, what was hard for you in this story?
Saying Barabbas! I don't know him. Peter was in the courtyard. Soldiers started a fire. Then they sat down. Peter sat down with them. A servant came by. She saw Peter. "You were with Jesus," she said. But Peter said, "I have not been with him. I don't know him," he said. A little later, someone else saw Peter. "You are one of them," he said. "No," Peter replied, "I'm not." After a little while, those standing nearby said to Peter, "You must be one of them." Peter replied, "I don't know what you're talking about." Just as he was speaking, the rooster crowed. The Lord turned and looked at Peter. Then Peter remembered what Jesus had said. "The rooster will crow before it does. You will say 3 times that you don't know me." Peter broke down and sobbed. Peter denied Jesus can be found in Mark 14 and Luke 22. What a sad story. But it's Easter. We're happy.